Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Early Edge. My name is Sia Nejad, and we are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. How about a legendary recap screen? Looking at 4-1. Before we bring in the stars of the show, let's pat some people on the back. Tom Casale hits his very easily. Jeff Hockman hits his very easily. The SportsLine picks go 2-0, and we go 4-1. Overall, I see you Pogo picks in the chat. Scott Edwards, Big Roadie is in here. Larry Hartstein is in the chat. Jen, the birthday girl from yesterday, is in the chat. Let's see if Larry's actually on the show here on a Wednesday. Well, let me see. Yep, there he is. The maestro is here. We got Buckets. We got Danny Brasco, and we got Mikey B. I'm not 100% sure where to start, but Larry, I do want to start with you because yesterday afternoon, Mike Tomlin stepped down. I mean, that was the wording, at least, that we heard from Pittsburgh. Your reaction to really this whole division losing their long tenured coaches, but talk to me about Mike Tomlin.
It was time. It was past time. Great motivator, but this has been coming for several years. So I'm just glad it's over and they can get a fresh start there. But I just want to say I really admire the dedication of people like Fantasy Life. Has a baby, but is here in the chat at 10 a.m. Congratulations to you and your wife. And this is kind of like a regular occurrence. People are either in labor or having babies or just gave birth, and they're here live for the show.
That's right. It was only 2 to 3 weeks ago that Mark Buchholz was actually in the hospital waiting for his baby, his second baby, to arrive as well. So that's just something that's happening on the Early Edge Fantasy Life. If you want to give out your first name so I can properly congratulate you, feel free. But absolutely, congratulations there. Buckets, how we doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing a lot better than Newcastle did yesterday. I hate being the one and only X on the recap screen, so I owe y'all some winners today, but excited to be here as always. I haven't done a show with Larry in what feels like forever, so apparently he's good luck is what I'm hearing from other people on the show, so excited to see how that goes.
Mikey B, that's what we're hearing from you, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to put this now. I need to be on every show with Larry because I think I'm like 6-0 in the last 3 shows that I've been on with Larry. And yes, don't worry, everybody in the chat. I see, first of all, congratulations, Fantasy Life. You've gone from zone coverage to man now with your second child. And I will come up with a Pampers parlay by the end of the show.
Ooh, wow. Buckets, I didn't have the heart to tell you, but I want to come clean. Larry asked to not do shows with you. So that's sort of not as much of a coincidence.
This was a scheduling error.
As you may have anticipated. Gipper's Picks is in the chat. Hello to you. I'm sure Danny Brasco, Gipper's Picks, is very excited about UFC. Now, we've been waiting a long time, but we're only 10 days away now.
Yeah, I'm done waiting to talk about it. See, 324 is right around the corner. We have some awesome fights headlining that one, specifically Justin Gaethje versus Patty Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. Women's super fight, Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison. I got to talk some of these fights today. I wish Guru was here because, of course, we have Patty the Baddie Pimblett from Liverpool. I thought I would get some Liverpudlian slang from Guru, but we'll have to tap in with him for that.
Those specific fights that you're talking about, I'm already seeing a lot of the commercials for them, and they look so intense. They look so great. And correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, but from here on out, they're all on Paramount Plus.
You know it, Sia. New home for UFC. I'm fired up. Everyone here is fired up about it. So let's bring our best.
I cannot wait. Danny, you're always bringing your best. Buckets, you as well. You're going to kick us off here. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've got 3 soccer picks this morning?
I do. We've got another busy day on the pitch, so let's see if we can do a bit better than 0-1. We're going to start with a fun plus odds Danny Brasco style banger here, as we've got Napoli hosting Parma in Serie A this afternoon. This match starts at 12:30, so just a couple hours to get this bet in. I'm going with the classic here of both teams to score, which is currently sitting at plus 130. Napoli are the better team. Napoli are minus 300 favorites. Napoli should win this one, no problem. I understand that, but Napoli are coming off of 2 brutal games where we saw them draw 2-2 both against Inter and against Hellas Verona. This team is stretched very thin with injuries, and Parma is one of these frustrating clubs that does better on the road than when playing at home. Parma have now scored in their last 6 away matches in a row, playing an exhausted and injury-riddled Napoli team. I think Napoli win this one, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. So I'd love both teams to score, and I love Parma to score for the 7th consecutive away game. Then I've got 2 German Bundesliga bets as Leipzig are hosting Freiburg. Leipzig, a bit of a longer holiday break as their last match got postponed due to weather, so this team has been itching to return to their pitch, and I am on their team total at -130, over 1.5. I think Leipzig are going to score 3 or 4 here. Their manager talked about how they struggled at the end of 2025, but this break was so essential and so important, and this team is hungry, healthy, and rested, and ready to dominate and fight for a top 4 spot. And if you want to finish in a Champions League spot, you can't be dropping points to Freiburg at home. So love Leipzig to do some serious damage this afternoon. And finally, I'm on that matchup between Hoffenheim versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. We're going with both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at -110. Hoffenheim, when playing at home outside of Bayern Munich, have the highest over hit rate in the Bundesliga. This is a team that defense has become entirely optional because they're capable of scoring 2 or 3 goals. And Gladbach, bit of a hit or miss team, but lately have found some incredible form coming off of back-to-back big games. These are 2 teams that just really prioritize offense. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw 4, 5, 6 goals in this one, so I'll take my happy little same game parlay at -110. See ya.
And people will be happy with me trying to pronounce that third game. So buckle up for the recap screen because some laughs coming. Go ahead, Buckets.
Good news is I have to leave at 10:25, so you'll be alone on that. So it's entirely up to you. Maybe Larry can help or Danny can help, but good luck.
This is not, I'm stalling because I'm trying to figure out some sort of alternative. By the way, I posed the question, and Mikey B, we're going to get to your picks in just a second. I posed the question of, what's your favorite show on Paramount Plus? And you all might not have it like on the screen here. I might not have a favorite show on Paramount Plus. Okay, so Mikey B, you're raising your hand. And I have a favorite show that I'm going to reveal in just a minute. But Better Days Ahead says Landman. I haven't seen that one. Tailored Winning says Billy the Kid on Paramount Plus is decent. His wife watches it apparently. Mikey B, what's your answer here?
The Mayor of Kingstown.
Yes, that's my answer too.
Fantastic. It
so
is
good.
riveting. I love it. I love the Mayor of Kingstown.
I didn't want to like Mayor of Kingstown when I started watching it. I thought it was like too network showy at first. I wasn't sure. And then I was so sold. I haven't even watched the latest season because I'm like waiting for the right time post-football season. Mayor of Kingstown is a really, really good show. All right, Mikey B. And if you have one, put it in the YouTube comments, put it in the chat. Obviously, I say the YouTube comments for those listening or watching this after the fact. Mikey B, you've got 2 plays. We're trying to go 2-0 with Larry on the show.
Thank goodness Larry's on the show. 2 plays from the same game, Bulls, Jazz. Ben and I will be tuned into this. Ben doesn't care about Indiana or the Bears. He cares about this Bulls, Jazz game. Yeah. So first, we're going to take Lauri Markkanen over 25.5 points. A little juicy here at -130. But he has scored at least 26 points in 11 of his last 14 games. He's averaging just under 28 points per game for the season. Great matchup here for 2 reasons. 1, the Bulls and the Jazz both rank inside the top 4 in the league in pace of play and in the bottom 5 in defensive rating. When these 2 teams met earlier in the season, they went into overtime. It was 150 to 147, and Markkanen scored 47 points. So I like his chances of going over 25.5 here. Same game. Other side, Matas Buzelis over 17.5 points at -106. He has seen his production increase significantly with Josh Giddey out. Over 7 games since Giddey went down, Buzelis has scored at least 19 points 5 times. During that span, he averaged almost 15 shot attempts a game. For the season, he's averaging just over 11, so a big increase in his usage rate. Already talked about how these teams play fast. They play no defense. Now, Giddey did play in that game when these 2 teams met before, and Buzelis still scored 18 points. So I think he hits that number at least again here.
All right. Tulsa King, also very good from Daniel Casey. That's the one with Sylvester Stallone, I believe. Go ahead, Buckets.
Have you watched The Detroiters on Paramount Plus?
No, I have never heard of that.
Tim Robinson?
Tim Robinson show, yeah. That's my favorite Paramount Plus show.
All right. I'm going to have to watch that as well.
You won't like it, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Well, thank you. Maybe I just won't watch it. See, at some point, he has to get caught up. I mean, come on. Let's go to some BetMGM promos, ladies and gentlemen, as more shows are popping into the chat. And a Lori Ladder, Pogo Picks wants to know, but BetMGM players will receive a no-sweat bet in the NBA tonight. Don't worry if your bet loses because you will receive bonus bets back. Again, that's a no-sweat token for the NBA tonight, courtesy of BetMGM. BetMGM players will also receive a golf odds boost. Just activate the boost on a golf bet, and if you win, you'll receive extra winnings and unrestricted bonus dollars. We got a golf bet coming up, and we had a lot of golf bets on the early wedge last night. It's already in your feed. It's on the SportsLine YouTube channel, but in your podcast feed as well. How about some sports line picks? College basketball. We're going with Missouri plus 1.5 from Tom Casale at minus 120. If you were in the Sportsline Discord yesterday, or if you're a Sportsline member, you already got this pick about, 12 hours ago or so, maybe more. And then we're going to Colin Murray Boyles over 18.5 points and rebounds at minus 114. That one courtesy of Prop Bet Guy. We got to get to more picks. I've got a golf 3-ball that you might want to bet here. We've got UFC, and then Larry, we've got your plays as well. We're going to get to those right after this message from our partners.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus comes out swinging. The highlight machine collides with the Liverpool phenom, and the Hall of Famer returns to take on the bantamweight champion. UFC 324, Saturday, January 24th, only on Paramount Plus.
Buckets, I know you gave out Leipzig earlier, at least the team total, I believe. Any thoughts on the money line? You may have addressed this, but Dylan Barakat wants to know.
I am totally okay taking the money line if that is your preferred method of betting this. Generally in the Bundesliga, you can play that safely. I always prefer team total, but this is the kind of game at Leipzig, a team that hasn't lost at home yet this season. I've got them winning this one 2-1, maybe 3-1, so I like the money line as well.
Danny, I want you to get to UFC right now. We got a lot more picks. We got golf and we got college basketball from Larry Hartstein. But before you get there is an NFL question. Sox Nation wants to know, Danny, are you taking the Bears on Sunday?
No, I can't do it. I was praying that there'd be enough love on the Bears for the spread to come down to 3. It's just probably not going to happen with their injury report. It's getting ugly. Brisker went down, some more guys down. I think they lost Edwards. Really great linebacker for them as well. So, look, the cardiac Bears just keep doing it, but I don't think their defense can hold up and stop the Rams. I think the Rams can drop 34, 35 plus on them, and I just don't trust the Bears offense to keep pulling it off over and over and over again. So I can't do it, even with 3 in the hook.
Larry, one of the common themes from that game is just the fact that it's going to be extremely cold. Does that factor into your analysis in any appreciable way? And what do you think of the 3.5?
A little bit, but it's not going to be super windy. At least that's the current forecast. And Stafford, was talking about how they did have a lot of wind in Carolina. I mean, I don't think Puka Nacua is going to care how cold it is, the way that guy plays football. And I just think, yes, Stafford doesn't have a great record in the cold, but he's never really had this offense before, this team around him, just a complete team around him going to Chicago. But I'm going to play that game. I'm going to give out my play on that a little bit later, but I'm staying away from the spread.
Good teaser there. Tailored Winning says Mobland on Paramount Plus is great too. Rick Funcannon giving some props to Prop Bet Guy, says he's been tailing his picks and winning. And Achilles TPS, Danny Brasco, says UFC going to be insane this month. So excited. And he says 2 absolute locks. Well, Danny, he must have already seen your picks somehow. Talk to me.
Wow. Does Achilles have it already? Well, hopefully we can be on the same page and lock these up. Let's start it off, man. UFC 324 headline for the interim lightweight title. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. Oh, Paddy the baddie. It's Pimblett time, man. He's taken over, and I think he can win this fight by submission at plus 160. Shop around. This line's down to plus 130, but it's his time, man. I think a lot of people will continue to have their doubts about him because, well, before he really reached his athletic prime, this is a guy that outside of training camp would blow up to huge size. You see him at a baseball game chugging beers and eating hot dogs. He looks like, how's this guy a professional fighter at an elite level? He's a father now. He's a grown man now. Paddy has changed the game. He's not in these contests with Jared Gordon where you're wondering, did he deserve that decision? Or, a fight against Tony Ferguson, a fading Tony Ferguson, where Paddy's the one with cardio issues. He's a mature guy now, and I think he's going to show that against Justin Gaethje the same way he showed it against Michael Chandler. Absolutely disposed of Chandler. Now, of course, the big stylistic clash is Gaethje is a veteran striker of the game. Awesome boxer, powerful boxer inside the pocket. Paddy gets it done with his grappling, with his lanky striking. So can he put the fight on his terms? I think absolutely, man. I mean, Gaethje, what's the motivation here for him? How is he going to stay off the ground as a 37-year-old who's, been finished 5 times in his last 12 fights, I believe, fighting at an elite level still, but saying that he's not going to fight anymore if it's not for a title. And he's been in this exact spot multiple times. He fought Charles Oliveira for the title. He fought Khabib Nurmagomedov for the interim title. Yes, those are 2 of the best submission artists ever, but he was submitted by both of them, specifically against Khabib, who really put it on him. I remember Justin Gaethje's parents were sitting ringside right there, and Khabib had the ability to armbar Gaethje and snap his arm. Gaethje is a tough son of a bitch. He wasn't going to tap, and Khabib looked at his parents in the crowd and decided, I'm going to choke him instead of snapping your arm in front of your son. Just a kind of epic, like humble gangster, gentle art moment from Khabib. But the point of I'm illustrating there is I think Paddy's submission skills, while they might not be Khabib's, are elite, and way above Gaethje's. And if it gets to that point where he's in a position where he can choose his submission, I think he'll do just that. Watch out for the gap on the ground. I think Paddy gets it done with a triangle choke, maybe an arm triangle. I'm just not sure how Gaethje avoids the ground with him, the way that he boxes, the way that he closes distance and gets into these pocket exchanges. Look out for a trip and then a choke from Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. And I think he's going to win this fight in dominant fashion. He could win with a big kick, a big knee. His size is actually a lot more is a bigger disparity than it'll appear on paper. But I'm going to pair him up in a money line parlay too. Minus 230 on the money line right now. Might be a little juicy. You put him together with Natalia Silva, and we're getting a price that we can attack here at minus 122. Silva's fighting the former champion Rose Namajunas at flyweight. Rose was just a lot more dominant at 115 at strawweight. Against Silva here, I'm not sure what her game plan can be. Rose is very good with her footwork, with her boxing, with her counterpunching. What can she do to stop Silva's footwork, to stop Silva's kicking game, to stop Silva's speed on the outside? She's just going to be outmatched by the younger and more athletic fighter who will just beat her to the punch, be throwing more volume, and just have too many angles, too many varied shots for her to keep up with. So if Rose can't drop her with a big shot, which I'm really doubting, get her wrestling going, which I also doubt she can do in this spot, I think Silva's going to win an easy 30-27 decision. I'm pairing her up with Paddy Pimblett to get some better value here. Let's get UFC injected into our veins, Sia. Can't come soon enough. Come on.
Absolutely love it. There's a lot of people in the chat, Danny, that are just complimenting your takes and your info. And we have that to look forward to the entire year with the UFC on Paramount Plus. Another show that somebody mentioned that I hadn't heard of yet, but I'm going to check out. 1923 is the name of a show that apparently I need to catch. Larry, I finally want to get to you and your college basketball and your Rams pick. However, Mikey B, you did promise some sort of parlay. Are you ready? Is it ready to give out?
I'm ready. You ready for me to give it out?
Let's go.
All right.
Oh my gosh. How are you guys doing this?
Listen, congratulations to Fantasy Life. Here we go. Lowry Markkanen, 25 plus points. We already talked about like the over on the 25.5. I like round numbers. Well, I guess this is an odd number, but I like even numbers here for parlays. Colin Murray Boyles, 7+ rebounds. No Jakob Poeltl tonight. And Mamu is questionable. Murray Boyles has been great on the glass with Poeltl out, so we're going to take 7+ rebounds for him. And then Peyton Watson to score at least 15 points. He has been awesome. He's averaging almost 25 points over his last 8 games. Jokic has been out. Watson has been great. Put it all together, stuff it in the diaper. That's plus 200. So hopefully we can get some Pampers here for our guy, Fantasy Life, because now he's got 2 kids. Prices are going up. Here we go.
All right. So Markkanen 25+ points. Colin Murray Boyles 7+ rebounds. Peyton Watson 15+ points. That Pampers parlay is plus 200. Larry, go ahead.
Somebody is saying that Markkanen was ruled out, so we may have to go back to the drawing board. Let's check that info. I haven't checked Twitter yet.
And see, I'll say for the vibes, like the new dad strength is something I always play in the UFC. If someone just had a kid, I'm backing him. New motivation, newfound purpose, right? So that being said, with the same birthdays and the babies in the chat, it's all these vibe angles, these motivation spots is what we're playing. So I think we've got good energy today.
Go ahead, Mikey B.
So Lowry Markkanen has just been listed as questionable with an illness. So I will come up with a new parlay. Give me a minute, and I'll come up with a new one.
Danny, when was he a new dad?
Patty, this happened a little while ago. So you're not really betting the new dad angle for Patty, but for my guy in the chat, we're certainly tailing his parlay on his new dad angle.
Right. Because the new dad glow, I feel like it lasts a certain period and then you're just like tired, right? It's like that narrative fades a little bit. Buckets, I know you got to go in a few minutes, but there were some soccer questions in the chat. Are you caught up with them?
Yes, we got people asking about the EFL Cup semifinal between Chelsea and Arsenal taking place this afternoon. An important reminder to everyone, this is a 2-legged affair, as they call it. So Chelsea play one at home, and then Arsenal play one at home next month. So it kind of changes how teams tactically are going to play in each leg. My piece of advice for this one would be just to be careful. The last 3 times these teams have played at Stamford Bridge at Chelsea, all 3 games have ended in a draw, 1-1, 1-1, 2-2. So Chelsea playing at home, even though Arsenal's the better side, they like to keep this one cagey, keep this one close. If I had to take a goal scorer or someone to score 2 goals. I am looking at Martinelli for Arsenal. He's coming off a hat trick against Portsmouth in the FA Cup. But again, with this being another cup game, we got to wait for lineups and we got to be careful here, guys.
All right, Danny Brasco, go ahead.
Buckets, is that because they play for like the aggregate score between the two matchups?
Yes. So a team like Arsenal, who is incredible at home, they might not mind playing for a 0-0 or a 1-1 draw in this first leg because they know in that second leg when they go back to their home stadium, they can pump in 3 goals if they want to.
Makes sense.
Mikey B, we have modified our Pampers parlay. And if you could address, just because of the quote downgrade, which doesn't mean he's out necessarily, but obviously Lauri Markkanen was one of your initial primary props. So address the parlay and address how you would handle that with Lauri Markkanen.
Sure. So the Jazz are scary because they're tanking. One night Yusuf Nurkic plays, he gets 12 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, and then the next night he gets rested. And Kevin Love gets rested. So they're a little tricky here. I'm wondering if they're worried that they're going to win this game against the Bulls. So that's why he's quote unquote sick. So, but this is we can swap it out. So we'll take the Markkanen leg out and we're going to add Buzelis 15 plus points. So we already like the over on his 17.5 at 15 plus points. The thing here is the only bit of a concern with Buzelis on the over 17.5 and why the odds are minus 106 is because he would probably be the primary defender on Markkanen. Hence, he could get into foul trouble early. Well, if Markkanen doesn't play, then there's just nobody that Buzelis has to worry about getting into foul trouble with, and I would like his points even more. So we'll swap it out. We don't have plus 200 anymore, but we still got plus 172. That will get you the double thick diapers. That'll get you some of the baby powder. You'll still have enough funds to make sure you're diapered properly.
All right, so we're swapping out Markkanen. We're swapping in Buzelis points. Now, as far as the Markkanen prop itself, are we waiting to bet that? Or
don't bet that now. Okay. I wouldn't bet that anymore. Let's wait. Illness is a little. He loves roasting the Bulls, which we saw earlier in the season. We've seen him before. So if he plays, then I certainly would bet it. But there's other options. Let's not put our money in that one right now.
Okay. Good information. We absolutely appreciate the chat updating on stuff. Like, we're live, so obviously some information will spill out and you all have it maybe before we do. Danny, go ahead.
Mikey, do you think illness will be the new way to disguise load management and just call it like I have a stomachache every 5 minutes? You could put me on illness any night.
So here's the thing you have to look out for tanking: illness and backs. Every guy over 6'4" has back problems. Okay. Everyone. So you can always say that your back hurts.
Right.
So it's illness, back, and then knees is the other one because all their knees hurt.
Buckets, you're 6'4", correct? Do you have back problems currently?
Oh, all the time. But I fight through the pain, Sia. I don't go unquestionably on the early edge. I don't need a break. Every single day I show up. No excuses, baby.
But Buckets is questionable every morning on the early edge. Just lifelong questionable tag.
Yeah,
This is the front end of a back-to-back set for me. I'm on this show again tomorrow morning. I don't usually do 2 days. You guys have asked a lot out of me in this show. I've had to give picks. I've had to give parlays. I'll fight through it, but tomorrow might not be my best effort. We need to get Larry on that show to make sure I do a successful job.
Mikey B, you use Buckets as an example, as a North Star for you. I mean, profiles encourage. This guy shows up to the microphone every single day, no matter the back strain. Let's go to Larry, finally. And Buckets, I know you have to. Buckets, any final words here? Because I know maybe some soccer questions populated here.
Last thing I'll say before I dip out, Cologne play Bayern Munich this afternoon. Bayern Munich are coming off an 8-1 win against Wolfsburg, which is just an absolutely crazy scoreline, and the books kind of don't know how to respond to that. I would take over 1.5 goals in the first half for that game, and Cleveland always asks, that's the game you want to ladder. Bayern Munich, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. They are scary right now, for lack of a better word. And Jeff Stewart's, yes, I do like Olympiacos, PAOK, both teams to score.
All right. Good question from Jeff Stewart. Thank you, Buckets. We'll see you next time. And Larry, we're finally going to get to your picks. You got a college basketball pick for tonight, I believe. Then, of course, you've got an NFL team total.
Yeah, starting in the SoCon, and I'm pretty ticked after losing 2 college basketball bets by 0.5 point yesterday. One of them where there was a line move. It was a timing issue. And but that's how it goes sometimes. Right back at it in the SoCon tonight. I'm taking 6.5 with Western Carolina against East Tennessee State. This is actually a huge rivalry in the mountains there. It's a blackout game. Western Carolina is at home. They have a bad record, but they have played some really good schools like Duke, Cincinnati, Georgia, Virginia Tech in conference play. They're 1-3 with all 3 losses by 5 or fewer points. So they've been very competitive. And they've actually won this rivalry game 4 straight times at home. So East Tennessee State, they're the better team. They're coming in 4-0, perfect in conference play. But I think Western Carolina, with the way they rebound the ball, they have a couple of bigs. They lead the conference in offensive rebounding, can at least hang close here. Obviously, see if you can get a 7. I took a 7 early on this one. Right now, I'm only seeing 6.5, but you never know. So that's my play in college basketball. And then going back to those LA Rams, who have been a scoring machine, as uneven as they've been, the offense has been there consistently. They get their best offensive lineman back, Kevin Dotson, hopefully expected to return. That's huge for their running game. And then, yes, it's going to be cold, but the Bears defense is so bad right now. 6.5 yards of play allowed in the last 3 games. They just lost their top linebacker, TJ Edwards. I think the Rams, if they need to go to the ground game, they can go to the ground game and still get to 27 points. The Rams team totals have typically been 27.5, 28.5, and 27 is such a key number. I love going over this total. I don't think the Rams defense is going to hold up either. I think the Bears are going to put up plenty of points too. The Rams defense has faltered down the stretch, and that's another reason for this play, because the Rams are going to have to keep scoring to outpace the Bears. It's just a great matchup for the Rams against a weak defense. And they did deal with wind last week in Carolina. It was very windy. So it'll be very cold in Chicago, but I'm hoping the wind stays where it is right now, which is they're saying, between 10 and 20 and not more than 20, which is the key number for wind.
It's interesting you bring up Dotson in the running game in general, because I was looking at all props yesterday, and I'm actually going to probably bring a prop to tomorrow's show in the New England game, and I'm probably going to put it on SportsLine later on this morning or this afternoon. But anyway, I was looking at the Rams props, and I noticed that we had Kyron Williams, who I know you like, Larry. He was in that low 60s range, but more surprising to me, and that wasn't surprising, that was pretty standard, Blake Corum's prop continues to climb. I mean, it's in that 47, 46 range. And I thought that was quite high. And I was considering the under there, but I think I'm going to lay off, because I agree with you, Larry. This run game may be successful. Knowing you're a kind of a Rams running game fan, did you look at those props, and did you have any lean one way or the other?
I haven't checked those props. The guy that I've been waiting for on Saturday is Jaleel McLaughlin. And when I checked last, they had only put up RJ Harvey, but Jaleel McLaughlin has been incredibly efficient for 3 straight games, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. And with J.K. Dobbins not expected back yet, I think that if he's in the low 20s or the mid 20s, he has been crushing that. And we know that Buffalo, that is their weakness, run defense. So I've been waiting for Jaleel McLaughlin. If anyone sees it yet, I'm about to check my phone again. They put up his touchdown, but they have not put up his rushing yards.
No, they haven't put it up. I will tell you, if you like RJ Harvey overs, BetMGM has the best number at 50.5. Most books have this at 53.5, almost universally, although DK has it at 55.5. So interesting. If you like RJ Harvey overs, BetMGM would be the place to play it. I'm going to give out a 3-ball for tomorrow. Now, no rush in betting these. This is over in Hawaii. The Sony Open doesn't start until 12:10 Eastern time, which means we're going to have some night golf, which is really, really cool. I'll bring my first round leaders just to remind everybody tomorrow morning. You'll still have time to bet those as well. But again, I encourage you to go watch the early wedge, because me, Patrick McDonald, Jason Sobel, and EC give out our favorite picks across all markets. Here's a 3-ball for you. It's plus money, plus 105. If you have this at like minus 105, I'm okay with it. I don't know that I'd venture in the minus 110, minus 120 range on a 3-ball, where technically all 3 of these guys can compete. I say that because this is a course that brings everybody into play. Now, with this 3-ball specifically, I like Nico Echeverria. He's one of my outrights to win this thing. He's not a first-round leader because he's going off in the afternoon. Those guys are going to be dealing with more windy conditions. With all that said, he's been playing very well. The fall swing went pretty well for him, and his history here is really good. He should have won this very tournament last year, ended up getting knocked out by Nick Taylor at the very end, but he's got a history here that predates that second-place finish, where he finished really, really well. Davis Riley, Joe Highsmith, 2 things. They don't have good history here, and their recent history is pretty terrible. Now, again, this is the type of course where, at least for a round, Davis Riley or Joe Highsmith could absolutely flash. The good news, though, is Nico Echeverria, I think, is playing too well to have either of those guys impact him for any of these rounds. I expect Riley and Highsmith to miss the cut. I expect Nico Echeverria to compete to win this tournament. And oh, by the way, the differentiator for Nico Echeverria versus a lot of the people in this field, because he's not necessarily a great ball striker, although he can get hot on approach. The differentiator is the putter, and you need to be a hot putter here. And Nico Echeverria, time after time, shows that he can be a great, great spike putter. And so that's what we're looking for in round one, and that's what we're looking for 4 rounds for Nico. By the way, that outright line for him is in that 50-1 range. More on this tournament on tomorrow's Early Edge. Check out the Early Wedge as well. I'm checking out some questions. Hand up. Does anybody have any questions? Danny Brasco, Gipper's picks had what appears to be a question, but you might have already answered on Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, a couple things I wanted to address this really quickly. He's got Paddy over half a round and the money line to bring the juice down to -165. I like that. Obviously, I see the fight going more than 2.5 minutes. He likes the over in the Harrison Nunes fight over 1.5 alt. That's a nice play for +117. Two things I wanted to touch on. If you're concerned about the striking differential for Gaethje to knock out Pimblett, I wish Guru was here, but you know what they say. Scousers don't get knocked out. I mean, these guys from Liverpool have chins made of granite. At this point, as tough as Gaethje is, I give Paddy the durability edge. Gaethje's 37. He's been knocked out a few times. I don't think he can take as much as Paddy can at this point. And then for Natalia Silva, I think it was someone in the chat said, I ruined it. I ruined my picks by taking the rising prospect to beat the former champion. I would say that there would be concern on laying the juice for someone like that in that spot, but Silva is no longer just a rising prospect. I mean, after beating Andrea Lee, Viviane Araújo, Jessica Andrade, Alexa Grasso, dominating win, I don't think we can call her just a prospect anymore. So no fear in laying the juice for Silva, my man.
All right, Mikey B, thoughts on Kobe White over on points?
Yeah, I believe his line's 20.5. I don't mind that. He did not play yesterday in the first game of back-to-back set for the Bulls. He scored a lot of points the last time that they faced the Jazz. So I would lean over there.
Dylan Barricat says, Sia, Seamus Power top 40. Now, Seamus Power made a couple of appearances on the Early Wedge yesterday. I do like Seamus Power. A lot of these guys like Seamus Power, have a very low floor and could absolutely miss the cut. But I happen to think Seamus Power's upside is pretty tremendous here. So I think top 40 is in play. I think top 20 is potentially in play for Seamus Power. And I think, on the show yesterday, I had him as a long shot. He opened at some books at 140-1. He's been bet down to around 90-1. I know I gave that out yesterday on the show as a long shot, 90-1. But this is a guy whose odds are getting bet down a little bit. So in the top 40 market, I don't hate that. Let's see. Mikey B, thoughts on Darius Garland over 23.5 points in assists or Maxey over 27.5 points?
I would lean over on the Garland one. The Maxey one, I believe Embiid and George are both listed as probable. Here's one, and I was thinking about making this a pick for today, and I decided not to. Andre Drummond has fallen out of the rotation when Embiid plays. Adem Bona has passed him. One book, I can't remember which one it was, has a line for him on his points and rebounds at 13.5. And if Embiid plays, Drummond might not even play. Or if he plays, he might see limited minutes. So I do like that under. That would be one thing I would consider for that game.
All right. Don't forget, 1 p.m. Eastern today on CBS Sports Network is the NFL Picks Show, says Larry Hartstein in the chat. And at 12 o'clock, we're doing the Early Edge, an extended version of the Early Edge, where we're going to lean into college football, NBA. We're going to talk a lot of different things on that show as well. So 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. You can catch people like Larry and myself and many others talking NFL, college football, and a lot more. There was one other question. Oh, here, it's just a comment from Sox Nation. Larry, I know you have some gear, but I do think we need maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much. Sox Nation says, what happens to the Early Edge sport gear? We need that hoodie and quarter zips. I mean, I know we have the t-shirt, which is great. And I think you still have a couple of those in stock, but I don't know. Maybe we can get some store to sponsor us and get some more gear out there, because I think people want to, Larry, rep the Early Edge and wear the gear. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to bring this gear that we have here in my office to Wrigley Field to give away the rest of it that we didn't give out at Yankee Stadium. There were some extras, but yes, we will talk to people about some other merchandise and see if we can amp it up for Wrigley.
That would be amazing. Farzad saying, I would rock the quarter zip. Big Rody saying, I need the hat. Richard Pierre is all absolutely into it. EE Gear is on the Paramount Shop. Okay, so we have to check out what is actually on the Paramount Shop. But I don't know, whatever's on there, maybe we could even get more stuff out there, or at least bring it to this show and promote it, because I think people really want to rock that gear. All right, we got to rock on out of here. I'm scared. I'm stalling for the recap screen. Hand up if anybody has any questions I didn't get to, but let's get to the recap screen, Ben, and see how I do tomorrow. So just so everybody knows, this tournament starts at 12:10 Eastern time, but this particular 3-ball doesn't start until, I think, 5:13. So you have plenty of time. Like a lot of these, the afternoon wave goes out in that 4 to 5 time frame. I got Nico Echeverria plus 105 over Davis Riley and Joe Highsmith. It's a round 1 3-ball. Buckets. Napoli versus Parma, both teams to score plus 130. Leipzig versus Freiburg. Leipzig over 1.5 team total minus 130. And Hoffenheim versus Borussia Mönchengladbach, both teams to score plus over 2.5 goals, minus 110. I think I did okay there outside of the stalling. College basketball, Western Carolina plus 6.5, minus 105, says Larry Hartstein. And he also likes the Rams over 26.5 at minus 122. Mikey B's got Lauri Markkanen over 25.5 points, minus 130. But Mikey, talk to me. We're at least waiting to bet that one, correct?
Yeah, don't bet that yet. We saw during the show, thank you to the chat, he was now listed as questionable due to illness. So let's hold off on that for now.
All right, but we do have officially Buzelis over 17.5 points, minus 106. And again, you got to listen to the show, because that Markkanen thing implicates Buzelis and the Bulls in general. So go back and listen to the show and Mikey's take on that after one of the questions. It was probably like 10 minutes ago on the show. Patty Pimblett by submission plus 160, and Patty Pimblett money line plus Natalia Silva money line at minus 122. We've got a couple of SportsLine picks. Missouri plus 1.5 at minus 120 from Tom Casale, and Colin Murray Boyles over 18.5 points and rebounds minus 114 from Prop Bet Guy. All right. Mike McClure talking about his UFC model. You love to see that.
Need it now.
Hey, listen, I tell people, and we don't promote it quite as much like we used to promote it every show, like sportsline.com/join, type in the promo code winners, you get 60% off the annual plan. But I got to say, I don't think, Danny, people appreciated, Larry and Mikey, how much is in like at sportsline.com. People think, oh, that's where you go to get picks. Well, yeah, that's true. But there's so much more, including Mike McClure's model plays, including articles that aren't handled by the actual SportsLine pick tool, the SportsLine Discord. There's just so much going on at SportsLine. So make sure you remember, if you have any questions about it, let us know.
And see, if you play DFS, like I'm new to the UFC DFS game. I just started doing that a year ago. Mike's model sims for that will be clutch for me in that analysis. Maybe not watching fight tape, right? But looking at that and how to distribute salary, that's key for that. So a lot of value to be had for sure there.
Yeah, and Ben is reminding us, Danny Brasco, we've got a UFC show next Friday on CBS Sports Network with Danny, Claudia, and Brian Campbell. I'm sure that's going to be taken over to the SportsLine YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe. But Danny, you've got that show next week on the network, right?
Oh, yeah, man. We're fired up. BC's already talking about a lot of the fights. I'm really excited to work with him and Claudia. We're going to cover a lot of fight coverage, and there's an insane lineup coming up. We had the 6-week hiatus. The UFC is going to deliver. For all that time we missed it, we're going to get a lot of great fights.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Mikey B. Thank you, Danny Brasco. And of course, a big thank you to Buckets and Freya. You might have seen her in the background there looking out the window. And of course, a big thank you to Ben and all of you in the chat. I see you, Chris Kish, Brad Morris, Farzad, Gippers Picks, James Rainwater. Thanks, everybody, for being in here, hitting the like button, but more importantly, participating in the chat. Put your favorite Paramount Plus show in the YouTube comments if you would. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, we rest our case.